A very good morning, dear students. Welcome to e-learning classes of Sacred Hearts of Lecture Business Studies. In the previous lecture, we have discussed about business and environment protection. In that, we have discussed about the causes of environmental pollution, in which we have discussed about air pollution, water pollution, and land pollution. Thereafter, we have discussed about need for pollution control. A lot of reasons were there. And the last but not the least, a role of business in environment protection. Dear student, in today's lecture, we are going to discuss about the topic, the last topic of sixth chapter, that is business ethics. The very first question arises, what is business ethics? So, dear students, business ethics refers to the set of moral values or standards or norms which govern the activities of a businessman. Moral values, that means something that are volunteer in nature. See further, ethics define what is right and what is wrong. That means business ethics define what ought to be. What ought to be, that means क्या होना चाहिए. It used to tell us what the things are right and what the things are wrong. It involves critical analysis of human acts to determine whether these are right or wrong. And what it used to do, it used to analyzes the human behavior and the actions that have been taken the human, and it bifurcate into two parts, that means what is right and what is wrong. See further, for a businessman, the ethical decisions expected are, what can be the ethical decision that can be expected from the businessman? The very first, to provide the customer with true information regarding the product and service. That means the producer, the businessman must be the truthful regarding the product and services provided by him or her. Second, allowing the customer to make free choice. That means a ample amount of or the smart amount of choice must be provided to the customer for purchasing of the goods or service. And the last but not the least, providing quality products at the reasonable prices. And the reasonable prices, the quality goods must be provided to the customer. That means in which quality must also be there and the prices must also not be there very high. Now, see, the one topic is there, business ethics versus law. That means comparison between ethics and law. Now we will make a comparison between ethics and law. See the first point, ethical behavior is above the behavior required by the law. That means ethical behavior is something having the wider concept in comparison to the behavioral. Second, both law and ethics decide what is right and what is wrong. If we discuss about the similarity between the ethics and law, then both used to discuss about the deciding what is right and what is wrong. Thereafter, next one, laws reflect what conduct is permitted and what is not permitted. जो law हैं वो क्या बताते हैं, what are the acts that are permitted by the law and what are the acts that are not permitted by the law in the society. And if one of the particular person or the number of the particular person is breaking the law, then it will be punishable anyhow. अगर कोई पर्टिकुलर पर्सन लॉ को ब्रेक करता है तो देर आर इट विल बी पनिशेबल. नाउ सी द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, द बिजनेस एथिक्स ऑल्सो डिसाइड व्हाट इज राइट, what is expected conduct of businessman and what is not expected by the society. If we talk about the business ethics, then it also state about what is expected from the society by the society and what is not expected from the society. Last, some of the unethical aspects of businessmen are also punishable. If the businessman is conducting some of the unethical aspect, these are punishable. For example, the adulteration, the black marketing, etc. are some of the considerable unethical aspects for which punishment is given by the law, by the government. And there are some unethical which are not punishable. For example, selling of the goods at the high prices, by the businessman. So this is the comparison between the business ethics and law, in which we have discussed about that the similarities and the differences between the business ethics and law. Now, the next topic, that is the elements of business ethics. We will discuss the different elements of business ethics. The very first is the top management commitment. If we talk about the business ethics, then top management has very important role to guide the entire organization towards the ethical behavior, as the top level is having the most of authority, most powerful level is the top level, so it is having the most crucial role in the setting up of the ethical behavior. The CEO and other top level managers must be openly and strongly committed towards the ethical conduct. And not only the lower level, but initially the higher level management, the top level management, the CEO, they have to set up an example over there, and they must guide people working at the middle and the low level to follow the ethical behavior. Until and unless the people who are belonging at the top level will not be having the ethical behavior, obviously it will be very difficult to guide the middle and the lower level employees or the people to be ethical. So initially the top level management have to be ethical, they have to present, set up an example, thereafter they have to guide the middle and lower level management. Second element, publication of a code. Generally, ethical organization define a code of conduct and set of ethics for all the employees in the organization. Generally, the organization used to define some code of conduct. That means what is to be done. Code of conduct, क्या किया जा सकता है, that is the code of conduct. These principles are defined in a written document, and whatever the principles are there that is to be followed is written in a particular document, and that document is known as code. So what is code? Code is a particular document containing the principles which used to tell what is to be done in the organization, that is known as conduct. Code. These ethics cover various areas such as health and safety in the workplace and marketing activities, etc. And these code conduct a lot of aspects regarding the working in the organization, and some of the examples have been given over here. For example, health and safety in the workplace and the marketing activities, etc. Now the third one, establishment of compliance mechanism. To show that actual decisions match with a firm's ethical standard, suitable mechanism should be established. Until and unless we will not make a comparison between what was decided and what is executed, it seems to be valueless, it seems to be zero. So here a suitable mechanism is established to make a comparison between the actual decisions and the ethical decisions on the ethical standards. For example, corporate ethics in the training, recruitment and selection, etc. For all these aspects as well, the ethical code of conduct is there. The employees of the organization must be free to report about the matters of unethical behavior in the organization. And if the employees find that these acts or this of the behavior is unethical, then they are free to report in against of that with the top level, with the middle level and with the lower level management. That means the ethical behavior is something very compulsory for everyone, whether they belongs to the middle level, whether they belongs to the employees level or they belongs to the low level. Now the next one, involving employees at all levels. While making ethical programs and policies, employees must be involved. Whenever the organization is framing about the programs, ethical programs and policy, employees must be involved in that. And why? Because these have to be practiced by them only. The most of time it will be practiced by the obviously by the employees, so they must be included while framing of these type of policies and programs. By forming small groups of employees, the ethical policies can be discussed. What can be done? The total employees can be bifurcated, can be classified into different groups, and then these ethical policies can be discussed with them. And when the top level management will discuss the ethical policies and programs, so they will get a true and fair feedback about them as well. है ना, जो ethical policies हैं, जो programs हैं, जो आपने code of conduct बनाया है, उसके बारे में क्या मिलती है? एक true feedback मिलता है. Next, that is measuring results. And what is this? Although it is very difficult to be sure the ethical results, अगर हम लोग बात करें, if we talk about the quantitative results, then it is very easy to cross check, but whenever it comes to the ethical part, it is very difficult to measure the results. But it is must to be verified and audited that how far work is being carried on according to the ethical standard. Although we cannot measure it exactly, but still some cross check points must be there, that how far we have covered as per the behavior of the ethical conduct. From time to time, the top level management must meet their employees to set up the future plan of action, and the top level management must meet up with the employees so that to make so that the future plans can be made, and if there are some problem and suggestions, that can also be heard out by the top level management against the unethical behavior. So this is all about this chapter, beta. In this chapter we have discussed about social responsibility, thereafter environment protection, and the last, that is the business ethics. Now we are going to discuss a case study of this chapter, beta. See, Mr. Rajiv is the owner of the ready-made garments factory. एक particular person है Mr. Rajiv, and he's a owner of a garment factory. His main motive is maximizing the profit. And what is the main motive? Obviously, the maximizing the profit. For this, he is charging high price from the customer and supply low quality product. And what wrong have been done? That he is charging high prices and the product is of the low quality. He is not providing the good working conditions to the worker. Even Mr. Rajiv is not providing the proper working condition to the employees and pay them minimum wages. और उसके ऊपर से क्या कर रहे हैं, उनको जो wages pay कर रहे हैं वो minimum criteria की हैं. See further, even he did not bother about the pollution caused by his factory. His factory is creating a lot of pollution, but he is not bothered about it, how to minimize it. He is even not thinking about it. As a result, his efficient employees started leaving the job and joining the competitor. Now, what the efficient employees are doing? They are leaving the job from him and just joining his competitors. The government puts a heavy penalty on him for causing pollution. और गवर्नमेंट ने क्रॉस चेक किया, the government find that the particular businessman is creating a lot of pollution, तो government ने उस पर penalty लगाई. Even number of customers also decreases. As you are not providing the quality product, तो आपके जो number of customers है वो भी क्या हो गए? Decrease हो गए. He was very upset and could not understand this problem. और वो बहुत upset हुआ, and what is the problem? He is just unable to understand what is the reason behind this. So this was a complete case that we have discussed. Now we will fetch up the question from this. See, the very first question, according to you, what is lacking by Mr. Rajiv? Up, as per you, what are the particular point that are not followed by the Rajiv? So the concept of social responsibility and business ethics have not been followed by the Mr. Rajiv. The first part. Second, in the given para, towards which he did not meet the social responsibility, towards the which group he has not completed his social responsibility. So here not only one group is there, three complete elements or the groups are there about whom the social responsibilities have not been fulfilled. The first, customers. Why customer? Because he is charging the high price and providing the low quality product. Second element or the group is employees, because no competitive salaries and wages are given, and even they are bound to work in the poor working condition. And the last one, community, because the Mr. Rajiv was completely careless regarding the creation of pollution. So these are the three elements जिसके लिए उसने अपनी social responsibilities को accomplish नहीं किया. So this is the way to answer the case study, to do the case study. Now whatever the questions are there, that you have to practice, and for any question, any query, that you can ask from me. God bless you all. This is all about today. Thank you very much.